Hello everyone, and welcome to the video series of creating a single page application with ASP.NET MVC 5 using AngularJS. In this video series, we are going to deal with the full-fledged architecture from server side to the client side. The goal of this video series is creating single page application using latest AngularJS functionalities, using routing and all the facilities which are provided by AngularJS. And the server side part is going to be controlled by ASP.NET MVC 5, in which we are going to have a full-fledged SQL Server database integrated with Web API, and it's going to expose the data in the form of JSON, and client side AngularJS is going to consume those things. The goal of this video series is to combine these two architectures properly, which is going to satisfy our business need. As a corporate trainer, I have seen that in number of projects, most of the clients are requiring that they are having an existing ASP.NET MVC 5 application, and now they just want to create that particular application in a single page application using AngularJS. This video series is going to be helpful for them who wants to do this thing and who wants to combine these two architectures into one. Let's see how to deal with that. Now, before we start typing any code in our Visual Studio, I want you to understand the architecture of this application. For that, I want you to assume that this application is going to have some particular sections in our server side and few things will be at client side, like always. In my case, my server side is going to have a database in which we are going to use a normal SQL Server database. Obviously, as per the ASP.NET MVC architecture, the database is that particular part which is going to connect with my model. So this will be my MVC model, which is going to be connected with my database. After that, model is going to pass this data entities to my logical layer. This logical layer in MVC is known as controllers. Now we have both the options available in this, whether we use a normal MVC controller or we use Web API controller. In this video series, I'm going to use Web API 2 controller for this particular sample. Once we are having this controller, a normal MVC controller as well as API controller can send the data to the client side in a different formats. We are going to use JSON format. And once my server side controllers are sending a data in a JSON format to my client side, at client side we have both the options, whether we render that thing with the help of a pure Razor view of MVC, or we apply with that Razor view, jQuery and Ajax and other client-side JavaScript things. And the other option is, maybe we want to create our view with the HTML rendering with AngularJS, and in that we are going to apply our AngularJS templating with some directives. Not only that, once we apply AngularJS, we are going to do the routing mechanism at the client side also with the help of AngularJS. So in this particular architecture, the server side part is going to be controlled by MVC, and that is going to have my MVC routing, MVC controller functionalities. And my client side part is going to be controlled by AngularJS, which is going to have my AngularJS controllers, AngularJS modules, and the routing mechanism of AngularJS. How to combine these two, which can meet my business need, is the goal of this particular video series. And we are going to achieve this thing with the step-by-step hands-on code. Once we are creating this view part, this full view part will be a single page application. So the goal of this thing is there will be multiple modules, multiple controllers, but all those things are going to be achieved within the single HTML page. And after that, we are going to apply different functionalities of AngularJS things inside this. As I have said, we are going to do the AngularJS routing at client side. So obviously we are going to use services like routeProvider. We are going to see that how to improve performance with the help of $ResourceService. We are going to see AngularJS validation at the client side and how to deal with the multiple validations on the form. We are going to do some dependency injections, because dependency injection is one of the important topic of Angular, which is going to help me to deal with the multiple modules at a time. And not only that, because we want to deal with the server side things and we need to do the proper navigation at the client side, $HTTP and $location kind of services also are going to help us. All the services belongs to Angular, and we are going to utilize this thing in a proper way in this sample. In my video series, I'm going to use Bootstrap CSS to make my forms looks good. And I want this particular UI should be responsive. This is a full-fledged story of this video series, and we are going to achieve these things step by step. Thank you.